your source for everything paranormal. ParaX.
Throughout the ages, history has been altered by word of mouth and the misrepresentation of those who might not have been present when some of the world's most significant events took place. Channelers Barry and Connie Strohm bring through the spirits of those who actually witnessed or took part in these historical events and lets them tell their stories in their own words. Welcome to Channeling History. And now, here are your hosts, Barry and Connie Strohm.
Good evening, everybody. I'd like to welcome everyone to Channeling History. We're the only show where we speak to the souls that made things happen. I'm Barry Strohm, your host. I'll be speaking the words of the angelic guests that we have tonight.
I'm Connie Strohm, your co-host, and I would also like to welcome you to our show. Last week, we channeled information concerning the world of cryptids and monsters, a tad different than what we're doing this evening. In that channeling session, we separated the truth from the falsity. All of our Channeling History shows are available on our YouTube channel. It's in the name of Barry Strohm, and it has, at this time, over 645 videos available. In addition to Channeling History, we do 3 other podcasts. Hello Heaven on Friday nights, a weekly message from Jesus on Wednesday mornings, and a Sunday sermon on, obviously, Sunday mornings. We're currently consolidating all of our audio broadcasts on a new platform named podbean.com. Just go to the site and search Barry Strohm. This week, we're going to explore the world of archangels by speaking with the angelic energies of Gabriel, Michael, Azrael, Orion, and Ariel. Please feel free to submit any questions through the chat room.
We're going to give a quick disclaimer. The opinions or statements voiced in our show are the channeled words of the Spirit and do not necessarily reflect our opinions, those of the ParaX Network, or those of our sponsors. And before we channel, we'll say a prayer of protection. So Connie's going to say the prayer, and we will begin to channel with the angelic guests that we have tonight.
God, please grant us your wisdom and protection. Grant us the knowledge that we can handle and keep us safe from all things that will harm us. Keep the messages positive and pure love. Keep us safe from our egos. We ask these things in the light of the seen, the unseen, and the honesty of God. Amen.
Now, as I stated earlier, we're going to explore the world of archangels tonight. We'll be channeling or receiving messages from 5 different archangels: Gabriel, Azrael, Michael, Orion, and Ariel. They handle the Lord's work in 5 different areas, and they're going to bring you a lot of life-improving messages. So we are going to begin channeling with Archangel Gabriel.
Gabriel, thank you for joining us this evening. Would you please begin with a message and tell us a bit about your duties in heaven?
Yes. Thank you so much for allowing me to come through and speak again tonight. We have to work together on trying to get people to live better lives, and that is exactly what angels try to do. I do a little bit of everything. I try to protect people. I try to make sure that they're on their paths. I try to teach them that they need to learn love and understanding. I do anything that God asks me to do, but specifically I have assisted him in many of the greatest projects that he's had. When Jesus was about to walk the earth, I spoke with Mary and Joseph, his parents. I helped guide them on what to do, how to protect the baby. I showed them what they had to do when they needed to flee Judea because King Herod wanted to kill their child. Throughout the life of Jesus, I helped protect him and guide him. I tried to show him what was part of his life plan. You see, when Jesus came back, he had a very, very detailed life plan, and he brought many human souls with him to assist him. All of the disciples, many more followers, and none of these individuals truly understood what was in their life plan and what was expected of them. So we angels helped all of them. We tried to explain what they needed to do to help him. And I think that we did a pretty good job.
I agree with that totally. How does angelic energy differ from human soul energy?
The two energies are entirely different. Human soul energies must reincarnate in order to learn lessons of various lives and to advance in the realms of heaven. Angels are God's helpers, so there's no need. They do not advance in the realms because they're always in the highest realm helping God. They've been around since creation, and all that they have done since that time is simply assist whatever creatures were on different planets, whatever civilizations were attempting to grow. We always tried to help whatever creatures on any planets that existed to simply follow the commands of God, because that was the key for them having an advanced evolution.
What exactly is an archangel?
Archangels have excelled in serving God through the years. There is a hierarchy of angels because there always has to be someone in charge, be that humans in a business or even on a sporting team. Certain of us have excelled in serving God in the past on all those other cultures, and we've been rewarded with having been allowed to have other angels as assistants to us. It's not a complicated process. There is a fairly large equality among all of the different angels, but we have excelled in the past, and God has rewarded us for it.
How many angels and archangels exist?
As far as humans are concerned, as many as they need. They are essentially unlimited. There are angels on all of the planets, and God has the ability to, shall we say, have them go where they are needed the most. There's basically an infinite number of angels. It's a big universe out there, and every planet has angels. So I have absolutely no idea, but I do know that there are enough.
Why can we not see angels?
Angels best work when they're not seen. Humans, or what other civilization exists, will pray to the angels and they will ask them to help. It is possible that angels can form, and angels have no definitive form. Even though you see the different drawings and ideas of what angels should look like, they always have wings. But in fact, angels don't have wings. We don't need to fly. We can transport ourselves without the use of wings. We're interdimensional. We have many abilities that humans don't even understand exist. When humans do form, quite generally they form the shape of the culture that is asking for their help. If a human asks for help, quite often an angel will form up as a human and will perform a role of assistance as they have been asked to do.
Yes, I know of some examples of that. You assisted with the birth and the life of Jesus, as you mentioned. Are you the most senior archangel?
No, I am a very senior archangel, but there are others that have served God as much as I have in the past. I have done many things for him, and he trusts me to achieve whatever he asks me to do. But there are other very important ones. Raphael does healings. Michael does protection for individuals. There are many, many archangels. Just because you only know of a few does not mean that many more do not exist. The ancients did not see the archangels or the angels. They were energies, and They would see many different ones, but did not recognize the messages that they were receiving from these different angels. But there are many archangels, and there are many that rank as high with God as I do.
When should a human ask for your help?
A human can basically ask for my help anytime that it needs guidance. I will try to have them make the best decisions. I will try to tell them if they're choosing the wrong path. When I came to Mary and Joseph, it was because we knew that Herod was going to try to kill their baby. So I came to them. I arranged for the wise men to come to them and bring them items that they could exchange to pay for their travels that were required. We did many things. We arranged many things in the past for humans, and we will continue to do it. So Jesus was indeed a special situation. He was God incarnate, and we knew that he had to succeed in his mission, and we did what we needed. But every human can ask for my guidance. If they're facing difficult life decisions, they can ask how they should alter their life plans and their activities. We do many things. There are times that you will ask for help and you may be asking the wrong angel, and the angel that is most suited to help you will respond. Simply start with prayer and ask for what you need, why you need the assistance, and what you would like your end result to be. And an angel will step in, or a Holy Spirit, or even God himself.
When can you not help a human?
If you ask for something that goes against your life plan, you come back with different lessons that need to be learned. Perhaps you chose to have an illness that you needed to understand the suffering that was involved. Raphael would not be able to help you in that situation. If you're doing a lot of good things in your life, it is quite possible that you can get an extension of your life. It all comes down to how you live. If you follow God's commands, then we can do much more to help you.
We have an interesting question from our chat room. Does God create new angels when more are needed for some reason?
No, there's essentially an unlimited number of angels available. And you will find that energies can be neither created nor destroyed, and that goes for angelic as well as human soul energies.
What happens when an atheist asks for your help?
We will consider the request, even though he does not believe in God. Something is taking place in his life that he would resort to asking us for assistance. So we will listen to what he has to say. If it is something that we know will just aid him and will not aid him in his future life, he will probably not receive the request. But if we think there's a chance that we can convert an atheist to truly believing in God, then perhaps we will step in and we will do things to help the act come through for that individual. If a person has been truly evil, they need not waste their time asking an angel to help him accomplish evil ends.
Gabriel, why do so few archangels appear in the holy writings?
Because the ancients could not see or understand just how many different archangels there were, they gave the angelic spirits that they were talking to or interacting with names. They thought there were just a very few of them. They had no comprehension of what went on around them. The interdimensional relationship that surrounds humans is incredibly complex, and it still is today. I hope that my words have been able to give you some assistance and help. I thank you for the opportunity to speak, and if you need a general help, feel free to pray to me and ask. We will hear your prayers, and we will do the best we can for you.
Thank you, Gabriel. Now we're going to speak with the angelic energy of Azrael. Azrael, thank you for coming. Would you please begin with a message and tell us a little bit about your duties?
There are many people that refer to me as the angel of death. I come to the soul as it is about to pass from its human realm into the realms of heaven. As human souls leave the body, they need help. They have no idea what is taking place in many instances. And I try to make the transition into heaven as easy as possible for them. I try to let them know that their life is truly not ended, but another life is just beginning for them. And I help and will take them through the passages and the portals into heaven. And I will often introduce them to some of their family members, but I try to make passing as easy as possible.
Yes. But what do you think when people refer to you as the angel of death?
I think I would rather be referred to as the angel of life, because death is simply the beginning of another life. But death is what humans associate with and fear most. So that is why they often ask angels to help them at their time of passing. Many people intensely fear death, and sometimes we can help them in preparation for their passing. We can come to them in their comas. We can speak to them in their dreams. And we just simply want to make it as easy as possible. We do not want the soul to be stressed on the greatest day of its life, and that is the day of passing from their human body into the realms of heaven.
So that's why they need your help. It's nice that you're there. How do you interact with an atheist when he or she dies?
That is a very interesting situation. You see, an atheist expects death to be the end. And for many people that come to heaven, they will see in the realms what they expect to see. If they expect streets of gold, perhaps they will see streets of gold. If they expect to see their family members, that is what they will expect. But in the case of an atheist, they expect nothing. So in many instances, when an atheist passes, that is simply what they will see. At first, they will look down and see their body, and they will understand that they have left their human body. And then they will, in all probability, go into a state of darkness. Since they expect nothing, that is what they receive. They will receive nothing. And they will be in that state for a while, and they will contemplate, and they will be in a state of great doubt. Quite often, we will allow light to come in, and that light will probably grow larger for them. And we may come to them. We may approach them in the darkness, and we may speak with them and tell them that we will lead them into the realms of heaven, and that they were entirely wrong in the way they lived their life, and that it is time for them to speak with their guides, who will point out all the mistakes that they made and show them the folly of not believing in God. And all of a sudden they will understand the true stupidity of how they lived their lives.
One of our listeners would like to know, is there any special care taken when a baby dies?
Yes, because the soul is very young and has almost no understanding of what is taking place. We are absolutely always there to assist a baby when it passes. We make it very easy for the soul of the baby. You see, the baby does not know what to expect. So we come to them and we help them with the passing.
Do angels help with the judgment of a soul after passing?
No, we will often escort the soul to the soul's guides. The spirit guides are the ones that have led him through his life. The spirit guides are the ones that have watched. They have learned how the individual soul has lived its life, and they know the most about that soul. You see, during incarnate lifetime of a human, the guides have access to that soul's book of life. The soul that is living the life does not have access to it. But the guides can draw onto all of the history of prior lives that soul's lived and can help that soul make decisions, hopefully the proper decisions that will help them live a productive life and help others. But the angels do not generally assist in helping with judgments.
Do all humans see you at their time of death?
They may not see me personally. Generally, I try to assist people that have led wonderful lives, have helped many in their lives. An atheist would never see me at his or her time of passing. An atheist will see an angel, but it will not be an archangel. When the time comes that they require assistance, they will gain that assistance, but it will certainly not be from me. My assistance at time of passing is something that souls deserve. I try, when I am there, there's a certain grandeur that is involved because I have certain abilities other angels don't have. There is a great advantage for me to be there. But if the person has not lived a good life, then they do not deserve all of the enhancements of heaven when they first pass.
Yeah, I think our listeners really like you guys tonight. I'd have another question from the chat. Do we have any connection to archangels after we pass away?
Absolutely. When your soul is on the other side, you can converse with angels. You will see them all around you. You'll become aware of just how many exist. And if you've led a good life, you will certainly have a relationship with angels after your passing.
Do you interact on other planets as well as Earth?
Yes. We interact on all of the planets of the galaxy in which our God is in control. We help all of the planets, the individuals on all planets, try to conform to his wishes and to follow his rules, to live good lives, and keep in mind that all souls have the opportunity to reincarnate on any planet in the galaxy. So yes, we interact on all planets, and you will never understand the interdimensional relationships until your time of passing.
True. Around the world, there are millions of people dying each day. How can you help so many souls?
I have a galactic energy, nothing like God has, but I can be in many places at different times. And as I said, I have many angels that assist me. So it is often not just me that is present at the time of death.
When should a person pray to you?
When they want to understand the act of the soul passing from the human body. If the soul has lived a good life, has followed God's commands, he may pray to me and ask for my personal assistance at time of passing. You will never truly know your exact time, but you can ask for my assistance when that time comes. And my personal presence would be a type of reward for you living a good life.
How do you respond when a very evil person dies?
When a very evil person dies, they will pass into this darkness, and we will come to them in that darkness. And we will take them to their guides. They will be directly escorted to their guides. Their guides will tell them all of the evil things that they've done, the terrible karmas that they have built up in their incarnate lives. And then the guides will decide what penalties that soul is going to have, whether they will be demoted in the realms that they were when they were born, or for truly evil people, whether they will be sent to the very lowest level of darkness, where they will have thousands of years to contemplate what they've done, and they will remain there until they understand what they need to do to repay the terrible karmas that they have established in that life. So I thank you very much for allowing me to speak. Do not fear death. We will be there for you, and it will be the greatest day of your life. Goodbye.
Okay, Michael is the Archangel of Protection, but he's also much more. Michael, thank you for joining us again. Would you please begin with a message and speak of some of your duties?
My role in heaven is to try to protect the souls of humans, or the souls of individuals on other planets that ask for protection. Quite often there are things occur in a life that are not part of a life plan. You see, when a life plan is made, it is based on the present time. In that moment, you can see the future, you can see the past lives, but things can change from that time and space. A human makes its life plan, and then it is born and returns. During the period of that life, situations change, and it might be very important that this individual is going to do great things later in its life. Perhaps an unexpected war breaks out, and that human needs to be protected so that he can return from that war and help many other people. So I protect. I can change situations around an individual, but I cannot go against an individual's life plan.
What are some of the different ways in which you can protect individuals?
I can alter situations. I cannot, shall we say, jump in and change the trajectory of a fatal bullet in a war. But what I can do is I can arrange situations where that individual is not present for an act that would take its life and change its life plans. Many life plans have different exit points, time in that life plan where that soul can pass and return from heaven. Quite often those different exit points are determined by how that individual is living its life. For instance, if an individual has a certain time of passing and has later times available to it, if that individual is living a bad life, hurting others, then in all probability we would allow him to die in that first exit point, because we want to minimize the harm that he does to others, especially if an individual is an atheist and is talking and leading other people away from God. We would, shall we say, assist him in that initial time of passing. If he's living a good life, we would try to change his circumstances, and that individual would be allowed to live until perhaps its final time of passing.
What's the best way to ask for your protection?
The best way to ask for protection is simply to pray. Do not wait until your time is very dangerous. Build a relationship with God. Let him know that you truly believe in him, that you live a good life, and that you want to extend that life as long as possible so that you can help as many other people as possible. Asking for protection is not a one-time thing. Do not think that you can live a life of an atheist and in a time of danger ask me to protect you. That is not going to happen. You've made your own decisions throughout your life, and your decisions is what will either save your life or end it.
Do you hear every request for protection?
Yes. I hear every request. I will have my assistant angels help. I will do many things, but I do hear every prayer. We always say that every prayer is heard, but not every prayer can be answered. But if you are asking for protection and you have lived a good life, I will certainly hear that prayer. It may be that your life has not been as good, and perhaps one of my angels will hear it, and they will let me know what is happening. But every prayer of protection is heard.
When can you protect someone, and when can you not help?
I will generally do what God tells me to do. When someone prays for protection and they're living a good life, there is a very good chance that that life will be extended. When an individual is living a bad life, does not believe in God, leads others away from God, and he asks for protection, in all probability he will not receive it.
Humans have a saying, there's no such thing as an atheist in a foxhole. When an atheist asks for your help in a time of emergency, how do you react to that request?
If we think that there's a possibility, a good possibility, that an individual will change his way of life and live a good life, you see, we can look ahead based on a decision to save his life. If we see in the future that he is truly going to change and follow God and help others, then we would probably help him to preserve his life. If we look into the future and see no change, then we would probably allow him to expire.
Many bad things happen to good people. Why do you not prevent these bad things from happening?
Because in many instances, the bad things are part of a life plan. We can sometimes ease just how bad some of these incidents will be. For instance, all humans have to suffer grief. It's part of the learning process. It's part of the test. We can perhaps extend the life of a loved one, but in the end, that loved one is always going to pass. That is why basically humans come in generations. Each generation will see the generation that came before them pass, and hopefully they will not see anyone in the generation that comes after them pass. And depending on how they live their life, sometimes we can have some effect on that.
So an individual's karma does affect if you can or cannot help?
Yes, in a very large way. A person that is doing good things for others is going to receive beneficial help from all of us. God sees that that person is helping others, and he may instruct us that we need to do what we can to assure that this individual has many years of help for other people. If an individual is hurting many others and a situation is arising that would probably take its death, then God will tell us not to interfere, but to let the natural acts occur. An individual quite often lays all of the groundwork for his life. An individual can always change, but an individual must show that he is capable of changing. Paul was capable of changing, and Jesus came to him after our Lord resurrected, and Paul did incredible things. Paul could have died in an accident if he had ignored the presence of our Lord. So you see, you have to respond to good when you see it, and stop responding to evil.
Is it possible for you to protect the entire planet or country?
Yes. Many of our angels have worked together to protect countries in times of need. There have been times relatively recently where the world, your planet, has been in danger because the scientists did not truly understand the nuclear fusions that they were working with. And we would step in and try to halt those fusions. There are countries that have plans to attack others, and there are times that we create perhaps an economic situation, or perhaps have a leader pass to stop that one country from invading the other. So there are times that we can affect whole countries, and there are times that we have affected the future of the entire planet. So I want to thank you, as for the others have. Thank you for allowing me to speak. And should you ask me to return, I would be more than happy to do so.
There's a good chance of that, Michael. Thank you.
Okay, Orion is the galactic archangel. Not many people know him, but with everything that is taking place, he's becoming more active on this planet.
Okay, Orion, thank you for coming this evening and joining us. Will you tell our listeners about some of your duties and begin with a message?
Yeah, I have been around since creation as all the others, but I do not usually become interactive until cultures or civilizations become more advanced. People have to be given very advanced information if they're going to live in the difficult times. All of the planets that exist today exist because they have learned to coexist. One of the main things that I do is try to influence leaders of planets, what they need to do to coexist. When the time comes that technologies allow a culture to become totally advanced, they will need guidance in getting along with the other cultures that have weapons that are so much more advanced than what the new culture has to offer. I will come to the leaders and I will try to guide them. We will give them suggestions on how they handle the different situations, and we will try to show them what is needed to live in an advanced world.
Why have humans not heard about you in the past?
There's really been not much need for me because in the past you have not believed in extraterrestrials or residents of other planets. Today you are approaching disclosure, and there will be a time in the very near future that you totally understand what is going on the other advanced worlds in the galaxy and beyond. As you learn, you need to be taught. These new worlds that you will learn about have different languages, different ways of thought, different ways of communicating. And someone is going to have to help educate. There will be many thoughts that you will need to possess in order to advance. And there was no need for me until you started to believe and to advance to the point where my services are required.
So would you describe it a little deeper, your role that you will play in the future?
I will come to the leaders of the different countries, and I will try to instill ideas in their minds. I will try to lead your scientists to understand the violence of the fusions that they're working with, and I will lead them to peacefully advance in the galaxy and travel the stars. There are many things that I will do as education and intellect advances in humans. Humans are only beginning their journey, and they will need much help.
Why would an individual require your service?
An individual may be able to control many others, and it may be that the others that they control will be decision makers in the future. So it is never too early to start to try to educate your leaders and your future leaders. That is why I'm taking a much more active role now, because there are people that are being born that will be leaders in trying to take your culture into the stars. And those are the individuals that must truly make the right decisions.
How can you go about doing this educational thing?
I can try to work with the parents of children, come to them in their dreams. The most important thing is that you have to instill the concept of coexistence. Without the concept of coexistence, there will be another culture that would annihilate your planet. You see, the other planets want to coexist, But if you attack them, then it's a different situation. The leaders of the future must learn that they have to advance in a peaceful manner. If they advance in a violent manner, there will always be somebody more powerful than they are.
True. In what areas of human development will you play the greatest role?
Scientific development. I will lead the scientists in having concepts that they will need to travel the stars. I will also work with the leadership, and I will try to make sure that they understand that if they do not advance peacefully, they will not advance.
What role do you play on other planets?
On the other planets, most of them have accepted the concept of coexistence. I have helped them on other planets to develop technologies that allow them to travel the stars. I've given them technologies that allow them to be interdimensional. And by being interdimensional, they have been able to considerably advance and communicate with other cultures. There are many, many things that every culture has to learn in order to advance to the point that they can communicate with other planets and develop relationships with other extraterrestrial cultures.
Do we have anything to fear from the extraterrestrials?
Only if you show violence towards them. The thought of coexistence is key. Today, humans appear that the only thing they want to do is fight among themselves. They have got to get over this before they will be allowed to have the technologies where they will truly interact with other interplanetary cultures. If they take this concept of violence into the stars, they will attack others, and if they do, they will be annihilated. Humans have got to realize that there are other cultures that have powers far beyond anything that a human has ever conceived of. There are cultures that can push a button and destroy an entire planet. So it is very, very important that we instill the proper ideas into humans before they attempt to travel the stars and truly get to know the other cultures.
After disclosure, how will your role change?
After disclosure, I can be more open about trying to educate the leaders and the scientists. You will find that extraterrestrials, after disclosure, will begin to work closely with your scientists, and they will show them technologies that they will need to advance. Once disclosure comes and people no longer fear the extraterrestrial forms that are around them but unseen, then they will be able to make the major decisions that are required. The leadership will absolutely have to move towards coexistence. Wars on the planet will have to end. There is no way that we will give the technologies for interplanetary travel to cultures that simply want to take violence into places of peaceful coexistence. The violence that humans have can only lead to self-destruction. And if they take that violence into the galactic universe, they will truly find out what violence can be.
When extraterrestrials are present on Earth, do you play any role with them?
I can, but generally they are already well instructed. The governing body of the galaxy has very good control over the extraterrestrials that are present on your planet, and they know what the rules are. So far, they have managed to keep the humans from destroying themselves in spite of all their attempts. There are individuals on your planet today that are capable of destroying humanity, and we are working with them. there will be a point that we will have the current extraterrestrials try to become involved with those that would create destruction. So thank you for allowing me to speak as well. I hope that everyone listening understands the true need for coexistence.
Thank you so much.
Okay, Ariel is sometimes referred to as the lioness of God. So Ariel, thank you for joining us again tonight.
Ariel, would you please speak to us about your duties and begin with a message?
My role is to try to help the teachings and understandings of God to permeate throughout all humanity. It is my role to help religions get along with each other and to coexist. It is my role to show all that God truly does exist. It is my role to show others that the golden rule will truly save humanity. I do many things trying to help the messages of God permeate the society.
Sounds pretty important. Why are you referred to as the lioness of God?
Because there are times that I will perhaps do things that are unanticipated in order to try to preserve his teachings and his words. There are times that I will lead others away from those that are trying to do good. There are times that there will be nothing more important than individuals understanding the importance of following the words of God. And there are times that I will create situations where the words of our Lord will be preserved, and that religions that teach violence will often have circumstances that make it difficult for them to exist.
Does this mean that you're the closest archangel to God?
No, it just simply means that I am more of a specific messenger of God's words and messages. All of the archangels are close to God. All of the archangels have different roles, just as you heard that Orion's role is to prepare cultures to advance to the point that they can travel the stars and coexist with other planets. Raphael heals. Michael protects. Azrael works with the human soul as it leaves its body at the time of death. We all have specific roles, and mine is simply to try to enforce the understanding that God truly exists and what he wants of each and every human.
Okay, what help can you provide for a human?
I can create situations where they can help come closer to God. I might arrange for an angel to come to them and assist them. I might arrange for them to have supernatural events. Perhaps a soul is facing a time of exit, a time of death, and I may arrange for it to have a near-death experience. I will show them heaven, and I will show them what is needed for them to change their lives in the future and to be able to return and help others and progress. There are many things that I can do with individuals.
What is the best way to ask for your help?
Simply ask for it in prayer. Say, Ariel, please show me how I can become a better person, how I can love God more, how I can do all of the things that he wants of me. I will hear that. I will either try to help you directly. I will definitely have my angels help you. We will do what we can. A person that truly wants to serve God and to help others receives an awful lot of support. Sadly, there is also evil that can help offset what we do, but we can be very powerful in helping an individual truly learn how to serve God.
When can you not help a human?
We will look at the human and see if his soul can truly be helped in the future. If we see that if we try to do something to help this person and he takes advantage of it and then goes ahead and does not change his life, refuses to help others, and actually would use that service to hurt others, then we absolutely would not do the service that he is asking for the help. If we see that an individual would use great wealth, for instance, to help others, we would set up situations where he would be blessed with wealth and he would be given the opportunity. Should he not use it, then he will see that the situations change and perhaps that he would lose that money. But there are many, many things that we can do. It's just simply that we want an individual to serve our Lord and do what is right with his life.
What is the most important message that God brings to humans?
The most important message that God brings to humans is to show love to one another and coexist. That is the whole purpose when he says, do not do anything to anyone else that you do not want done to you. Because the common sense of that statement will help lead you to showing the love and understanding that is required to advance in heaven when you return. Evil is never in a life plan, and you must learn not to pursue anything that would harm someone else, because when you harm someone else, you are performing evil.
Is there such a thing as an evil angel?
No, there's no such thing as an evil angel. The concept of a fallen angel was developed by the ancients. They had no other way to explain how evil could exist. And they thought that evil energies were angels. There is no such thing as an evil angel. Angels are only agents of good. Angels will only try to help you. They will help you follow your life plan. They will help you live a good life. But the most important thing is when an angel helps you to believe in God.
Do you see any hope for humans in the future?
That is a tricky question. There is always hope. That is why we send people like you back to help try to bring messages, because we hope that others will listen to those words and understand and live good lives. We hope that you will follow the advice that we give you when we come to you in dreams. We hope that you will make the right decision when you are faced with making a decision that would favor evil, a decision that would harm others. We hope that your parents have instilled a great feeling of good and love, and that you show that feeling of love to others. We hope that you do not show anger. We hope that you do not show hatred. If you follow all of those desires that we have for you, you will live an incredible life. And when you return to the realms of heaven, you will find that you will be welcomed and that you will be greeted beyond any expectations.
What do you see as the biggest problem for humans?
The biggest problem for humans is their free will. A huge problem for many humans is that they think that wealth will bring them happiness, that wealth will be a tool that they can use for their self-betterment. Many people think that power is the greatest thing. What they do not realize is that the human life is so incredibly short, and that in these short years of a human life, they can do things that will destroy all of the good that they have done in heaven. There are people that have been so evil that they have gone from the highest to the lowest level in one lifetime. There is literally no limit to how bad things can be if you do not follow the words of God. God wants you to do simply good. He does not want you to do anything that you do not want done to yourself. Now, there are masochists, perhaps, but I think all of you understand the true concept of what he is trying to tell you. Just simply go out and do good, help others, and you will have a wonderful life. Thank you for allowing me to speak tonight.
And I'd like to thank all of you. This information is very valuable for anyone that wants to understand our modern world. Many are trying to remove history from our schools, and the past is always the key to the future.
Now, Connie and I have started a new podcast. It's called Hello Heaven. It's on YouTube Live on Friday nights. It's available on YouTube. It's available on all of the audio platforms. Check it out. We have done some fairly unique things on that, and I believe that you will truly enjoy it. Now, obviously, after having a show about the Archangels, I'm going to have to tell you about my book. My 10th book is called Modern Messages of the Archangels. We've channeled 20 different archangels, and we have their messages in that book. It's available on my website, barrystrohm.com. It's on Amazon. You can get it in paperback, hardcover, audiobook, and ebook, and hardcover. If you want to learn about the archangels, this is absolutely the place to go. It is got some incredible messages, and I think that if you take the time to give it for presents to those that are lonely, to help others with it, that it'll serve a great service.
I want to thank you all for joining us tonight on Channeling History. We always try to bring you the truth about histories by speaking to the souls that live the events. So please tell your friends about our shows. We think you'll be doing them a favor. God wants you all to have a great week, and God bless you all.
Thank you so much for listening to us tonight. I hope you enjoyed hearing from the archangels. I know there's many of you out there that don't believe in them. But trust me when I tell you, they truly exist. I've been blessed to be able to speak their words, and God has wanted me to bring their words to you, and that is exactly what we did tonight. So tell your friends about tonight's show. Tell your friends about my book. We also have another great book about the messages of God that we've channeled. I have 10 books available. There is so much information available, and believe me, I have spent all of this time trying to bring you this information. One does not get rich writing these books. So tell your friends. Let them know that there is a place of hope available, that all things on social media are not evil and trying to lead you astray. All of the shows are available on our YouTube channel. It's in my name, Barry Strohm. If you want to download them, go to Podbean, podbean.com, and search Channeling History. They're all there. You can get our other podcasts to download at the same location. So thank you so much. We truly hope you enjoyed the show.
Thanks for listening to Channeling History. Tune in again next week for another electrifying episode, as we never know who will make an appearance or who will come through the portal. Any rebroadcast or other use of this program without explicit permission is strictly prohibited. Copyright 2020. Our Story Begins by Kevin MacLeod, licensed through Incompetech.com.